what I'm saying? You be followed by them for a couple of blocks, then they finally gonna turn them lights on you, on your ass. You know what I'm saying? So what's
And
the difference if
what's
it's
the
the
difference?
community doing it? You
My
feel me?
point. It
So
got
what
the,
do,
but the
if the
cops, what the
law
cops are
enforcement
doing
doing it?
is not right
There's
either. You can't. Two evils don't make good. Doc says so. Call the cops because he looks like they don't. Well, hold on. So call the cops because he looks like they don't belong. And does that sound? How do you feel about that? Like, what if you're just lost? You know what I'm saying? How would you feel about that? You're getting shaken down. What I'm saying is like the
No,
quote.
here's what I'm saying. That right there, that suggestion right there was actually dropped as a comment. Somebody should have called the cops on him or told someone because he didn't look like he belonged. A black man, after the last 2 years of all this shit going on, a black man actually used that argument. That that disturbs me almost.
But that's what I'm saying. It is disturbing because it's not it's like saying we're just gonna do the same thing that they do or whatever.
Now,
You
I'm not
know?
saying we don't need stuff and we don't need to watch out neighborhood watches and communities, but we can't let them be the power. We can't let them have the control. They need to
Because
work with law enforcement, not be law enforcement.
right, because vigilante killings, that's the same thing as doing lynches,
That's the slippery
lynching.
slope is the vigilanteism. That motherfucker deserved it. That shit, everyone's applauding Dave Chappelle's security guys for beating that dude because he
Right.
deserved it. No, they lynched him. They held him down and beat him. No, that is not right. I don't care. He was subdued. Should have been handed over to the cops.
He was no longer a threat. And
Now,
that's the,
that being said, he did deserve to get accidentally knocked into a door or two on the way, to the cops. That's going to happen, because that's the real world. But what they did to him was way overboard.
that's what I say. And I hope the community can see that because you
That's what
can't.
happens though when you let the community take justice.
Right.
It's not justice anymore. It
It's
becomes
right.
vengeance.
Exactly. And if
That's
you
why capital punishment is wrong. What they use it for, because so many people are dying. They kill one person. They haven't proven they can never be part of any society again, and that's the only time we should use capital punishment. Is if there's no way this person can be part of criminal life, part of prison life. I mean, there's no way he's just that bad. I mean,
Pat says you go into his neighborhood supermarket to see how they get your ass out of there. And but that's what I'm saying, Pat, though, because you're right. I don't disagree with that because like imagine this scenario on the flip. Somebody said that. I think it was Deuce yesterday when we talked about this, but we didn't really talk about it that much. But imagine this scenario on the flip, and how things probably would have happened. You know what I'm saying? There's a likelihood that things would have happened a bit different. You
I
know,
guarantee you wouldn't have been walking out of there and being patted down like he was. I guarantee fucking to you.
so
Let's stay real. You know what I'm saying? All these like I don't know,
in
bro.
in,
This not a
in a
topic for
Texas
me because maybe I'm just too angry or something, bro. I don't know. So
but what
I'll
I'm
just
saying
let
is
y'all
in a
comment.
that
Texas open air market, there would have been at least five more guns in the hands of people that would have taken the aim shot and capped him in the head.
so like you say, it would have happened in a different way. So,
Different states that would have played out. But then again, that's why you go there. That's why you go to a mosque to shoot people because there's not going to be guns there. That's why you go to a high school because if there's a gun, it's going to be that one dude that failed the police officer test so many times they just hired him as a police officer at the school.
probably haven't discharged his weapon in years. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where we are on the argument though right now because we're in the middle. Like, where are we? Like, what are we saying? Because what I'm trying to say is that like evil don't make no good. Two evils don't make a good. Like copying someone that's doing something that's messed up to fight against it is not how you're gonna fix it.
See,
Let
what
justice prevail, and let's see what justice does. Yeah.
What is
Let
justice?
justice.
community observers that
It's the
respond
same
to the
justice that we've
police.
been seeing. It's the same justice that we've
See,
been seeing
that's
for years. So let them prevail. You know what I'm saying? Just like he walked in there and pled not guilty in a fucking psychiatric ward, hazmat disposable
but
suit.
look,
You feel
those
me?
were innocent people he killed, like random ass innocent people.
Yeah,
Like they
justice
wasn't
don't care
fighting
though.
no
But no, we gotta
war.
let justice prevail, Chaka. No,
So
because
they wasn't
eye
fighting no
for an
war.
eye.
So
We gotta let
a
justice
black guy
prevail.
goes into the justice would be a black guy go to a white neighborhood and unload in there. Are you
Yeah.
condoning that
Well,
on
because
random people?
if it was a black guy that went in there and did that, I guarantee you he wouldn't have walked out of there. His justice would have he would have had his form of justice
Yeah, but
right there.
it sounds like that's what y'all saying, and that's what
He
I
would have
mean
been
by an
no.
eye for an eye leaves the world
I'm
blind.
saying
We're just gonna
no,
be in chaos. Wild Wild
no. What I'm
West.
saying is let justice prevail. Let the court system handle it. They know best because that's pretty much the argument that we're raising here. We can't be eye for an eye. Let the court system handle it.
The,
And in the meantime, these people that were killed, they'll be forgotten about. What the hell? They were old anyway. You
I
know,
get what you're saying.
that's
The
pretty
court
much.
system is
So it's
ass.
like
I get it. I get it. I
so.
get what you're saying.
But that's the argument that we're leaning towards
No,
right here in this
not
place,
really. I
bro.
mean, like I
That's
say,
my point of view.
we need to focus on changing these institutions and the way that they work, the private prisons, the money in politics, and that's what we're talking about here when we're talking about that. So that
Because my point of view, I'm not just angry because it was black people. Let me set the record straight. I would be just as angry if it was a community of elderly white folks. I don't feel like no one should die like that by a fucking coward. That he was a
Hey,
fucking coward,
but he
dude.
did
You
shoot two
feel me?
white people too.
That doesn't matter.
probably
Yeah,
by
their
accident,
their lives is just
but
as
they still
important as
got
everybody
hit.
else in there.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying, the thing
So
that
then,
angers me is that the thing that angers me is we see it all the time. The court system brings this person in, they get away on an insanity
yeah,
fucking plea, and in the meantime, the people that died, the people that were in there and trapped in there that survived have to live with the mental fucking anguish for the rest of their lives. And we're arguing about, oh, it's not eye for it. Man, fuck that. Kill that motherfucker. He should have been shot in the head right there.
yeah. But that don't. What my
That's just the
argument
way.
is, I'm not
That's
saying
the way. That's the
that.
way I feel. If it
What
was,
I'm saying
even
is
if it
that
was
not
in
gonna fix the
another
problem.
community.
We have to
Well,
start
it
looking
won't
at
fix
things,
that problem, but it'll fix him. That motherfucker be gone. He won't
and
be here. We won't even
that's
have
what
to
we
worry about
do.
him no more. Like,
That's the same thing as kicking the can down the road, and that's what we
because our
continue to
justice
do.
system is not gonna do anything, bro. You think it's right? You think it's right that these children that get caught in a mass school shooting that survive have to deal with the mental anguish, and then the fucking assailant, the person that survives it, that did this shit, he gets away on an insanity plea and gets to live his life out in an air conditioned fucking psych ward the rest of his life? Do you think that's fair?
And I
That's
said
not fair.
in the other
You know
video,
what I'm
like if
saying? None of it is.
I'm making this argument, but if I was on the scene, and who knows how I really feel, I'm making the argument. You know, uh, let me read the comments. Pat says, balance the scales, protect those around you. It's already chaos out. Don't be a biatch. Apparently talking to me. But I just feel like, okay, we need to try to focus on really fixing the issues. That's why we have to talk about things truthfully and honestly and look at what the root causes of things and try to freaking go there. That's the long, hard road that don't nobody want to do. The easy solution is pop him. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I said about killing the guy, how that's not even a good enough punishment, bro. He gets to go. He gets to get martyred. He's not gonna be suffering no more. No, that's not even a good enough punishment. He probably
Yeah,
wanted that.
I
That would have
mean,
gave
he
him what he
did.
wanted.
he did want death suicide, so murder suicide. I mean, I get it, but I'm just looking at the fact that we see this all the time, bro. That these kids, and these people, you know, and it's like these folks after this shit. Let's just say a month or two after this shit, bro. These folks is gonna be forgotten about.
And that's sad.
You know what I'm saying? And it happens to these young adolescent kids in the schools, and these mall shootings, you know, and it's not it's never gonna be fair on either side. So you might
Well,
as the
that's
motherfucker who was committing the crime, we
I
might as well
can't.
get rid of this
But I
motherfucker.
can't I can't allow myself to think that way because then therefore there's no reason to do anything. So it's like you have to believe like it's like two ways to look at things, you know. You can
So
even
this is the answer.
so the answer is the community. I think what you were saying, Doc, you're suggesting is the answer, but softer than that. But that's the immediate kind of like answer. But the deeper answer is community, us figuring out what the hell is going on, what is driving these things, and get our think of it as a community. Like Elliot said, it was mostly black people who died, but it was a couple white people who died too. And so as a community we need to look at this and say we have a problem, so let's figure out a way to get us to a point where this is not happening.
Say, bro, this is really not some kumbaya. Like, hey, we got to come together to figure out what's going on. We know exactly what's going on. We know exactly what kind of event just happened, what kind of intentions came from it. Why, this is somebody who just hates people for being genetically, you know, superior than them, and they're mad about something that we have nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of that, we supposed to just be like, oh, well, like, cause it's almost like, you want to give him a rubber ducky for his bubble bath. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
I'm saying killing the guy is not even good enough.
well, I mean, regardless, I mean, to
That's what he
set
wanted.
to set an example, I think, yeah, yep, knocking his fucking head off would be a good start. But as far as like just trying to run off into one of their grocery stores to try to do the same shit, no, that's not it. But the people who might try to come behind this guy, and because a lot of people don't realize a lot of that shit that just happened with Kyle Rittenhouse is like the way that they did his trial, and making things make it where you can't really say, you can't, this guy's like all the stuff they went out of the way to try to help Kyle Rittenhouse out with is why like this kid is gonna be able to simply get away with a bunch of bullshit now, and use bullshit uh you know arguments to say that he was um you know his insanity or some kind of bullshit. Look, if we keep trying to handle this shit like with kid gloves and acting like, oh well, we just gotta figure this out and this that. No, we have to look. We have to be aggressive about this. Stop all that old, like kumbaya. No, I do not forgive him. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what the next thing that comes up is, like, you always trying to figure out a reason to try to make this person humane when they completely had no humanity when they were doing the act.
And I sympathize with you, 100%. But you got to hear me when I say like violence can't be the answer. How is violence the answer?
I have
How,
never at any time said this guy does not need to be taken out, but it does have to be with rational mind and by the law. It has to be done right. If it's done out of revenge, if it's done out of spite, if it's done out of popular demand, then we're helping his message get bigger.
Exactly.
How was his message? But he has no message other than hate.
Well, that hate
We don't
begets
know
hate.
that. We don't know that
We
though
we
because
have to stop.
CNN is the
We
only
need to
How,
one that's
stop being
allowed to
afraid to die.
disseminate.
Doc, Doc,
Period.
Doc? I look, say, bro,
Stop being
please.
afraid to die
You're making
and
me
stand up.
lose trust. You're making me lose
Yes.
No,
trust because
CNN.
I know you of anybody else knows that this dude did not have like 1 ounce of care for any,
I'm not saying
especially
he
any black.
did, but what is the media hiding because they locked his manifesto down? Why won't they let us see it? Why are we only allowed to see what
Because
is through the reporters?
I can tell you why. Because they know because it's gonna prove that
There's contradictions to what they're telling us. We can,
well,
I'm not saying this guy is any better for it. I'm not defending him in any way. I still want to know more though. Yeah, the dude's gonna go. He's gonna go bad. He's gonna get the death penalty. He's not gonna go to
yeah. I mean, the longer
insanity.
he live, the longer
There's
he
no doubt
lives.
about it because all the information on his life led up to what he did. So there's no doubt about any of it, but I still want to know what's the media not saying. They have branded him so far right wing, but I remember seeing some stuff on there saying his manifesto talking about he's not, that he doesn't disagrees with certain things in this and about where he was. I want to see what he had to say about it
Well,
because,
I would too. I would love to know all of that as
That's
well.
that's a
But
whole
I mean,
nother
I
reason
did
to
not
but
not
I
kill him.
no
see.
no I want to know why. I want to see it because mainly Facebook, everywhere, all social media shuts it down. They immediately stomp that. If it comes up, bam, they take it down. CNN, they had it up for like a very short time and then it went down and then they're only allowed to talk about it or the only information is allowed to come through them. And I'm like, what the hell here? I want to know more. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not defending him and he has no defense. No one has, well, other than the fact that to do something like that, you have to be batshit freaking nuts. I mean,
Well, and
but
that's one. That's
again,
one.
that
Or
doesn't
super
justify anything.
or super
That's
hateful, because
This,
that's just crazy anyways.
this kind
well,
of
but
That's a
but but see,
action,
logical
but
crazy.
no,
but see, that
this
lets you know
kind of
that he was
random action
programmed.
shows that he can never be part of any society anywhere. He will always be a danger because no one could ever know when he's going to snap. So he basically should be given a choice: drugged into a freaking near coma or killed. That's the only two things that you can do with someone like this guy.
Well, I mean, both. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, either
And
one
when
will
I say
do it.
drug him
And
into a coma, that means for the rest of his freaking life, for the people that don't believe that this guy can never be part of any society ever again.
no, he really can't. I mean, that's. I mean, honest. Like, all right. Look, if now we would have met our judge, jury, and executioner that day if it was me, Deuce, Chaka, or Elliot. Like any one of us, maybe even you too, Doc. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they found out that you hang out with us, shit, they would have knocked your head off too, just because your affiliation. But however, like this is such a common thing that they usually let these kids live after they done, went and shot up, multiple
Take them
people.
to get McDonald's and shit. But I want
Yeah,
to bring it back to what Elliot said earlier about the being afraid of death, because we
but
could
but
take
but
this.
but that's a part. But no, but that's a part of their promise to these kids. Like a lot, like am I gonna say that all cops and everybody's connected to this whole thing? I mean, honestly, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, there's a possibility. But at the same time, it's like they give these kids these promises that make them feel like they're badass for the little shorter period of time that they still here, and they don't kill them. Like when they approach them at the grocery store or at the church, at the mosque, wherever it is that where they show up, it's just like All right, all right, look, we here, all right, it's, kill whoever you're gonna kill, put your gun down, blah, blah, blah. All right, and take them, what I'm saying?
My thing is, okay, I'm not that much of a journalist. I could definitely do more. God gave me that ability. But what rights are taking more after every situation that is similar to this? What right? That's what we have to think of. What rights we're taking after that?
What do we lose when we do these things like killing someone? What do we lose? You know what I'm saying? How are we hurting
Oh no,
ourselves?
this completely falls in with gun right things. I mean,
Well, I mean, even if these are
that's why
pure
there's going to be
setups,
another one in about a month or two, just as the primaries start getting up.
well, and
Another one
look, and
is connected
I,
to the right or
I,
to
I,
supremacy.
Yeah.
I get this. I hear what y'all saying as far as this is just this is a very much a setup, a ploy by the liberals who always
This
try to find
happened
a way
less
to,
than 24 hours after I said it would.
hey,
Seriously.
look, I'm sure it's connected. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, we had way more, like we always have more problems like this when Democrats in office than when we have Republicans. It just is. I mean, what you can do the math, it just does. So my whole thing is why, regardless. I mean, what are we supposed to do in the meanwhile? Somebody who's potentially out here trying to, you know, kill off
Well,
our family members.
well,
Be able
what's
to protect yourself at all times and don't live your life in fear.
yes, that's what I was about to
I,
say.
I
Like,
oh I don't have no fear, but my thing is that some of y'all do,
no,
and
it's like the thing what Elliot was saying about having the fear of death. We're not on the spiritual side. Okay, you're supposed to protect yourself, yes, and that's growth, that's life too. All life does that, but life doesn't go around being afraid to die, because that's not how we're supposed to live. You know what I'm saying? And there goes what he was talking about, us
I,
taking away our securities. I mean, it's basically taking away our life because we live less. The whole idea of the terrorism and you being afraid and you do less things, you're more constricted and you're more separated from people. You're more controllable.
You get less ideas. You get less knowledge and information in the conversations.
I agree. I
You
agree
get
with all of that.
isolated like they did to us
But
for
but
the
that, that
last year and a half.
that's what I'm saying. Like if grandma wants to go to the grocery store, you get your ass up and go to the grocery store with grandma. That's my like that's a part of what I'm saying. Like I don't think that this should hinder your movement at all. It should revitalize your movement and to say, okay, you know what? I mean, look, none of these suckers, these white inferiors are gonna stop me from living my life. But
But my
I
my grandma my grandma should have a 22 in her pocket, and I know she's totally against it.
against what?
At least a 22
Totally,
in your
totally
pocket.
against what?
A 22
Oh, you should
in
probably
her
I
She
mean,
may,
take
pocket.
take
she
some
may,
she
she
Tylenol.
may
has
not
one, but
want to
she's
carry
Take
it.
a
totally
hot
against it.
shower and put
She
your
She
may not
should.
have
uh,
it. Does she carry a
just
razor?
Huh?
there.
Grandma should carry that thing.
I just knocked the. It's right here because I just knocked it over.
See,
Yeah,
my
because
grandma carried a razor. She wouldn't carry a little pistol though.
Or a 40
yeah,
or a 45 or a 9 or
But I
whatever.
would take a hot
Grandma,
shower.
carry that
Just
thing.
circulation.
yeah. I know. I'm gonna get a
Um,
I don't,
is
because
it
I don't know
swollen?
if my
It's not
mom still
swollen.
has her pistol or not, but it
Here,
might
take
be
two
too
of
big
these.
for her now.
It's gonna
But I
inflammation
want to at
anyway.
least
This is
get her
perfect
a
for
little
that.
something
It may
she
not
can
help you
pop,
with
pop,
the
pop, pop, pop
pain, but it's
in
gonna
somebody's ass.
like help with the
They roll up
inflammation,
on
and
her.
then eventually you'll feel better because
You know what I'm
inflammation
saying?
will go
Like
down. That's what's causing the
that's
pain.
just,
Take
and I
two
hope, of
or
course, I
three.
hope none of these things to
Only
ever
two
be
in
true.
here. There was one over there, I think, but I threw it away.
Chaka,
Oh, it's on the
Chaka,
floor right there. Probably
Chaka.
not bad if you want to take it.
Chop.
Well, I thought there was a lag, but there's it's just not muted.
You like tripped over something? Curb?
The mud right here.
You slipped.
I can't go in and control it. I could,
over and it hurted.
You have to be careful.
Alright.
And that's another reason why you need to work
Okay,
out.
it's
Because if
family,
you was
let
in
him
better
take care
shape,
of
that
it.
wouldn't have happened. That's how that happens.
It's about family. Let him take care of it.
Pat, what the hell is going on?
Wait, I'm here. What happened? I missed something. I had to deal with something.
You missed a lot of something.
Yeah, you guys were here the whole time.
You missed the mute button.
Oh shit! I tried.
No, I was trying to cover it up and talk over it and whatever, but I'm like, this has nothing to do with subject matter jurisdiction.
My bad,
What the
y'all.
fuck is going on?
I thought I had turned the mic down. My bad.
No,
It's all good, man.
My
But,
bad. Life happens.
Yeah, but yeah, man. You know, I'm pissed. I'm still pissed. So I'm sure most of y'all can probably tell, especially about this whole deal, because it's just like, you know, they targeting our women, older women.
Yeah.
Like this, is not, you know what I'm saying? This ain't the ones that'll whoop your ass in the middle of the street if you you know, like now these are the ones that's kind of like, oh damn, you just gonna do it, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like older women. This is mama and grandma.
And I think something symbolic about this. Like I said, and with the tops and the colors, and then we randomly today, because my mom brought it up at the beginning of the show, talked about this guy who killed his wife, daughter, and mother-in-law, and then killed himself.
What?
Yeah, it happened in Houston earlier today.
man, that shit happens all across the country, all day. We just don't hear about it because it's not politically correct, if you will. It doesn't help their agenda.
Well, there's something to this story, though, because it didn't really show up on my radar. She brought it to my attention, but the fact that it was all women that he killed, and basically it looks like he was abusing these women, and also it looks like maybe he was Muslim. Like this is speculation. I just heard this story today. I'm gonna probably cover it since I mentioned it twice. I'm gonna have to cover it again to get all the details. So we're gonna talk about it some more, but I think like there's some symbology there, man. And then related to the Roe versus Wade and the lack of formula, we talked about that in the show yesterday.
I mean, oh, the lack. Oh yeah.
So do you see how that's connected? And then the murder of these women like this, 4 women, 3 generations of women. His daughter, his wife, and apparently it was his wife's mother. So it's 3 too. So that's 3 of them. There's something with that. Okay, now it counts as 4 because he killed himself, but it was 3 women. Anyways, that's just what stuck out to me.
And what style Muslim was this? I mean, was this?
I can't say none of that stuff, man. It was a little story. That's why I say we're gonna have to cover this again.
Well, I'm saying it wasn't a black Muslim. It was a white Muslim. Was it
What? That's what I'm saying. I don't know that. I don't know those.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know none of that stuff. Hold on. Somebody sent me a. Hold on. Let me see. Since we mentioned it, I got an article. Can I pull this up on the screen? No, because it opened with this. Maybe if I open it with the. Hold on. Let's see. But this is an article, though. I don't think I can do that. I'm going to just read it. It says, estranged husband shot wife, 4-year-old daughter, mother-in-law before killing himself, sheriff says. This is by it's written by Micah Hakefield. Whatever. This is ABC 13. I wonder why I can't go to the. Oh shit, y'all. My bad. Doing too much. Okay. I'm going to read it. It says Spring, Texas. A man estranged from his wife and 4-year-old daughter appeared to have shot them and his mother in law before returning the weapon on himself. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says the preliminary findings was disclosed hours after 4 bodies were found inside a Northwest Harris County apartment unit Thursday morning. It was the Pakistani family at the center of the tragedy, Gonzalez said. Pakistani. So that might tell you something. It says the woman worked at an Islamic school nearby and her coworkers became concerned when the reliable employee did not show up for work. When they arrived at the Commons at Vintage Park Apartments, where she lived, in the 9700 block of Crestwood Drive, Gonzalez said deputies were already outside. At that moment, I just started crying. Angelique Lee, a neighbor who had interacted with the family before, said, I just started crying. It's crazy how you see someone one moment and then you will never fathom seeing something like this will happen. Other residents at the apartments were quick to start a memorial for the family. Not only did this hit close to home, literally, for the residents, but some had also interacted recently with the mother, her mother, and the child.
Somebody knows something and just gotta
It
wait for that
says,
info to come out.
yeah, it's too fresh. That's the thing. It says the husband and wife were going through a divorce in recent months, and there were reports of a man being abusive to his daughter, the sheriff added. An investigation is active and ongoing. Yeah, I played the sheriff was talking about it earlier, so I don't want to play that again.
That's one thing about articles or stories that come out right away is that people try to be detectives, and it's like, well, there's a lot of stuff that come out years ago. It come out right away. First 48 became very prevalent within the hood or the ghetto. It's like you have to let things kind of play out a little bit, inform each other, and then sit on your hands and then watch, and the truth will come out.
Yeah.
It takes time. We love to come to conclusions, but hey, we don't know the truth until it's right there in black and white.
Well, I just give my condolences to any of the family that's left, with this whole incident, because it's definitely
I give
something.
my I give
Yeah,
my condolences, but I wasn't there, and I can't say that I was personally affected because I don't know if it happened. So I
well,
like to
I'm
keep
just
an
sorry
open
to hear that.
mind.
Yeah, I'm just sorry to hear that something like this is even happening. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for anything like this to be going on, is the much deeply rooted issue there that none of us knows about. And hey, to the family, I send my condolences.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's just like it's
Facts.
related to the violence on
Me
women,
too.
but it's also related to violence and hate, along with still the topic that we're talking about, because we have a problem. You know what I'm saying? We have an issue when you got because people feel like they own they feel like they own their children, they feel like they own their spouse. You know, it's this
Yeah,
psychotic, sociopathic attitude. That's the dude. I would diagnose this dude as a sociopath or whatever,
shit might
psychotic.
be might be worse than that. Might be a sociopath.
No, this goes to
Which
no, this goes to right on psychopath. Total disregard for human life is not that's psychopathic.
That's
and
psychopath.
Sociopath is
even to his
unable to
own
get
daughter.
along in society or group.
Okay, yeah. Guy that has no the psychotic is the one that don't have no fucking feelings.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why
No
killing them.
boundaries, no morals. Yeah, it was nothing.
So that's reason. That's the same reason why killing them is
That's
wouldn't
why
be a
I want
thing.
to read his manifesto. The problem is the reason they say they're sitting on it is pretty strong. They're afraid people will get it and use it and do copycatting. But I still want to know what's in there because as a human being, as someone that studies batshit people like that and abnormal psychology and ministers people's souls and things like that, as an ordained minister, I want to know what was on his mind, what brought this to this. Not that I can ever understand it, but maybe I can start seeing signs of it in other people and help them to not get to this being the last 10 minutes or whatever that we know about
Well,
of a chance to do anything. And now it's
well,
over and he's over. I mean,
one
well,
thing.
he better be over.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I think sometimes
Yeah.
us as black folks need to be reminded of is that we've been at war. Like war is like been set against us for 400 years, and I know that you're looking for some chance to relax, but when you got stuff like this happen in your neck of the woods, like you gotta really, you know, really like because I don't know. I mean, for me, it just seemed like the smoking, the drinking is like the first thing that we want to do. But how well can we protect our communities? Like that's one of the reasons why this guy was able to just sneak in to the community so easily is because it's partying bullshit. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
well,
Nobody's really saying, "Hey, what's going on with this guy here? You know what I'm saying? I don't like where is he from? Does he live around here? Like, and if he does, where? Like
yeah. Well, that sounds just
let's
like what up, cuz? Where your grandma stay? But
oh,
listen, let's talk about deeper solutions. Because I'm gonna have to wrap it. I gotta work all day tomorrow, and I'm already tired, so I have to wrap it. But I want to end it on solutions. Let's talk about solutions m- deeper than popping the guy. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't saying pop the guy because my thing was like, I mean, because that wouldn't be my first answer because it's like, okay, it's up to that point, he hadn't done anything. But at the same time, have some kind of reverence for your neighborhood to be like, okay, something's out of place. Like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, have your own kind of investigation going on between you and your crew or the people around there that can say, okay, well, this dude, something not adding up with this guy. Like, give a shit about your community enough to where you can say, hey, we go- let's see where this guy go, cause see if he even lives around here.
It's the
You would have
same shit
you would
that
have
used to
saw
happen
that he
on
lived.
Homestead.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
When we were,
saying.
it's the same shit. Like when we grew up over there off of Homestead, you knew when we was all standing up there at the store, and some motherfucker came up to the store out of place. Everybody, if we were talking, we stopped talking and we watched them. Somebody would even go in the store behind him.
I,
Like, who the
I
fuck is he?
But and
You know
look,
what I'm
man, I
saying?
remember one time we moved to over there off of MLK. I'm the new guy in the neighborhood. Me and my cousin, I think Martin was there. I don't know who else was there. Leafer might have been there. I don't know. We was out there hooping and shit. We was like, we have the gall to go to the park and play basketball in the neighborhood where we just moved to. So like, and we saw people like kind of looking at us and shit, didn't really think much of it. But then, we started to leave the park, and then it seemed like the whole ass park decided to leave at the same time and like walking behind us, bro. Like, this situation got really ugly. I ain't gonna lie. I don't need to tell the rest of that story. You know how, you have an idea how that went. So, but see that what y'all saying is like that's the answer, and I'm saying like, what the hell, bro? Like that's what we already have. I'm talking about solutions, and also let's bring it back off of the individual situation that happened with this individual circumstance. Let's look at it in a broader sense of these things happening, all over the place and all the time. What are some solutions?
Well, it seems like, I mean, because in order to fix a lot of these type of isolated incidents, is for our government to really be, more, you know, caring that shit is happening to black people. I mean, if we weren't at war with like our own government, that's got their police forces looking forward to trying to kill us. You got civilians looking forward to killing us. It's just like, okay, wait a minute. How are we not some kind of protected class at some point? Because I mean, we do have some value. I don't care. My thing is like we allow too many things to just slide by, and like what's going on in our government. Somebody who's available to do these, fight for us, needs to be trying to do this day in day out. And sometimes, like, I really wish I was in a position to be able to go and fight, because you better believe, like, I'm gonna be relentless. I'm just like, look, something
Elliot
has to be.
says. Elliot says the solution is being pro-black and loving thyself. Love under will. So, Deuce and Doc, what do y'all think? Because Pat is saying the government should pass legislation, to help with this situation. What is that's not a bad idea to go along. I don't think that will be a to be all at all, but that's one tactic to take. What are some more tactics that can be done? You guys think to help to actually address the situation?
Man, I don't know, cause that was the first thing when I first heard about this story. Me, my wife, and my sister-in-law was talking about it, and I said the same thing to them, because we were having a conversation, and like I explained to them, all of these folks that went out there and voted for this motherfucker, you know, they should be looking at him for this, and not for him to go out there and meet with the mourning families. You know what I'm saying? But there should be this. It should have been a bill or something wrote up that came across the desk that day, or the next business day.
I think they already got legislation written for this, and it just won't pass. What you
You
got to say,
know,
you Doc?
But other than that, bro, I don't really know of any other way. Like what other way is there other than
Well,
what Doc has proposed? What you know?
here's a funny thing where people, you know, you got to stop doing this. It's spying on your neighbor. Oh, that's what the Nazis did, and blah blah blah. When you see somebody this freaking disturbed and you know them, you gotta tell somebody. You
Yeah,
can't just let it go. You can't just walk away. That's a big thing. Everyone, well, first of all, the government keeps trying to get us to tell on our neighbors, oh, if you see your neighbor having more than two people over at their house during this pandemic, call the
Yeah,
cops.
yeah,
That kind of shit. That's got us all paranoid. And we're already a society of you don't rat people out. I mean, but you got to. This is not a normal case of, oh, he's just bad or something like that. There had to be signs. Someone had to have seen. Someone should have notified somebody somewhere. But the thing is, people won't do it unless there's a reward involved, and you can't give a reward to capture somebody for a crime they didn't commit. And technically, since they didn't commit a crime, turning them in, there's nothing we can really do other than put them on a watch list, and that's kind of getting into the oppressive totalitarian.
But,
There's a whole lot of gray
but
area in this and what we can't do and how we can do it. But,
I would like to. I would like to.
sometimes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Doc. I would like to add that you know that kid living in a household. Because I mean, if something happened in my household, me not paying attention to my child, I'm gonna feel some
Me
kind of
too.
way
Me too.
to not, like I'm gonna keep him away from people if I think he's crazy. I love my son, but I'm gonna be like, all right, no, son, all right, no, we gonna go do
Yeah,
this.
we're not gonna let you shoot up no grocery store. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna give up my own Second Amendment right to have guns in my house because this nigga crazy.
So, what was I gonna say?
So that's
If
why
I
I
had
say that.
absolute proof that my son was about to go, if I had absolute proof that my son was
But
about to go and shoot something up, and I knew he had plans and all that stuff, I would have to, and I love my son, but I'd have to turn into some people that could handle him because I know I couldn't. If
Yeah.
he had gone
well,
that far already to the point where he had
but
made the decision that he was going to do this, that's
Doc,
too
that's
far
the difference.
gone, and he needs help beyond my control. And I'd
Doc,
rather do it before people die.
Give them to the professionals.
but Doc, the thing about it is, it can be noticed, and it is noticed, but the parents that the children that end up doing this are parents that promote that. Like if they find that their kid is like just as hateful as they are, and they willing to go out there and actually, because like some of the parents are probably just more bitch asses to where they just won't do it themselves. It's like, oh, well, my son, oh shoot, my son, shit, he ready to do. They just don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
where that's
for this case we're talking about, I don't know. I don't know anything about parents' backgrounds or anything yet. All I know is he is a very hateful person with a manifesto that we can't read, and he is absolutely nuts and did a horrible, horrible thing. And I hope those families get
The
some
thing,
justice
something-
out of what.
the thing about it is though, he got in trouble at school
Yeah, I was about to say
for
that.
writing
Okay.
a letter. They were doing a what you want to do after high school, and he put on there that he wanna die, he wanna go around killing, and he wanna die by murder suicide. The school then called the cops and administrator, had him taken to a psychiatric evaluation facility. He got out of it, and he wrote that he got out of it by saying that he was just bored in class, and he wanted to get out of class, and that's why he wrote that. Then on top of that, his mother witnessed him. I guess she walked in on him. He had beaten a cat to death and cut the cat's head off. She helped him bury the cat. Walked in on him doing this in their garage. He also had wrote a threat to shoot up his high school where he was at. So this kid, there has been
And
some
and
some
and, and this leads to this. You
defining.
know what this makes me think about? What about intelligence
Next.
agencies? What about investigations? FBI's or whatever. Like
They
we
been
This
like
school
they
had
they
him under
they've been
watch,
noticed.
bro, because they knew the school had him under watch. They had the officers at the school watching him because they knew he was a danger. But public schools, their hands are tied. There's only
He's a
so much
minor.
that they can do.
Being a minor when it happened, when that incident happened, there's a lot of loopholes to get federal involved in it. It's got to go through state. They got to prove it. They got to move it up. I mean, remember the balance and checks is like CIA is not supposed to be able to work. Federal can't get involved unless they're asked, unless it crosses a state line or violates a federal law already. So he couldn't. They can't move on him unless it's violates. It steps on their feet. And
well, that's something that needs to
the
be
local
changed.
police can't pick it up.
That's something that needs that points out a problem, because you would think all the money that we spend.
Then we're giving kids drawing guns, and we're saying every kid that draws guns does weird shit and
Sounds like
stuff like that, and does stuff like that needs to be reported to the FBI. So now we're having kids not trusting at all. They're not going to do it at school anymore because now they don't trust the school at all, and they don't trust the people there because they're going to sell them out.
And the trust is the issue. But I don't think you need all of that. I think that all the money that we spend, we got our noses up in Venezuela's ass. You know, they all the equipment, these fucking satellites and all of this fucking shit. There's cameras everywhere. They got cameras on people's cars, cameras on traffic lights. You know, they it should be a way for them to be able to, like, you know what I'm saying, dissect this type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And kind of preemptively deal with it.
And every single one of those requires a different level of legal permission and a different judge saying, okay, you can do that. Plus, the thing you're talking about right now, you need to watch a series. I don't know which one it's on. It's called Person of Interest. You need to watch it. It follows that what if the computer was watching everything and stuff like that, making
It
judgments.
is,
You would love it. It's a good show.
but it is watching everything. If
It's
it
there.
chooses.
They could tap into whatever they want anyways. This is already happening. Let me read Elliot's comment. He says, if black people refuse to learn occultism and rituals, nothing will ever change for us. The golden rule is everlasting. And I'm getting tired. So, but what I wanted to say was,
Yeah,
I,
I got a headache.
I feel like what y'all are saying is kind of the same thing I'm saying, because when you are talking about paying attention in your community and what's going on, and if everybody is safe, other people that's other than me, if they're safe, that goes to like caring, to giving a fuck, right? So that's really just love right there. Loving your
Yes.
community, loving your neighbors, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
giving a
I ain't
fuck.
about. I am not about hating nobody, bro. You know, yeah. Do I hate certain shit? Yeah, it's because I might be reciprocating somebody else, but just overall, like, just because some white dude came into a black neighborhood and killed black people, now I think I should go into a white neighborhood and start killing white people. No, I mean, like, nobody deserves that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? But I think we all do have to have some responsibility for our own, and you know, let's not get caught up in fear. You know what I'm saying? Look, we got to take, unless you just ready to give it up today and just say, oh, I'm going to see I'm going home today. I'm going to see Jesus. I'm going to see Allah, whoever your daddy is. Then okay, then you give up. But if you still here, shit, it's just another day to fight. That's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
that's
not
where I'm
gonna.
at.
Yeah, I'm not gonna live my life in fear. I'm not gonna move on fear, and nothing like that. Like that's just like when the whole COVID thing and broke out. Like I mean, hey, I'm not gonna live my life like that, bro. I'm not gonna live my life consumed.
Uh,
Yeah, they had a
uh,
lot of shit shut down and things shut down. There were some things that was open, but bro, the time because I was out for work a lot during COVID because of
mhm.
my job or whatever, but I still was getting paid. I still was working, but bro, I moved around. I got outdoors. I went walking. You know what I'm saying? I would go walking and doing shit. Me and my kids, we out doing shit. Like I wouldn't conform. I'm not conforming to that bullshit. You know,
And remind.
and the
I'm sorry, but I would say, and remind Mama that everything is cool. We look, let her know you got her back no matter what's going down.
yeah. Oh man, I can't tell you, dude. We've been on the phone. Like I've called her and talked to her, and we've been on the phone, literally dropped down arguing, and it's like she's just fixated, staying at home. That's like even she had an accident or the wreck or whatever, and it scared her. And she won't even really drive anymore. And it's like and my thing is like at your age that you are, you should be living your best life. You should be
Hmm.
enjoying whatever life that you have left, not just being a hermit, sitting in your garage listening to music, and chilling out. Like, nah, bro, there's more to life than that. There's more to life, then there's a lot of shit that you could do. Her and Barry both. Like he retired and
Just
all he does is hang around the house too. And it's like, bro, like if I was a retired dude, like bro, I'm traveling this world. I'm at least travel the United States. This country has a lot of beauty to offer. A
and
lot of places to go and see.
our government is known on selling us a bunch of fear. So I mean, we need to see that and realize that, and regardless of what's going on, live.
Yeah, you gotta live your life, bro. And that's what I tell people. Like people are like, oh, I don't want to go outside because of COVID. I could get sick and die. Motherfucker, you could sit in your house and be taking a sip of wine and that shit go down wrong and choke and die. So,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go out here. I'm finna live, bro. Yeah,
And,
I
it's a lock
respected
and it's
the
a lockdown, so
mandates.
you don't have any friends to not help you when you're choking.
Yeah, because you by yourself. That's a
Yeah,
real danger, though. That's not even really funny because, especially once you get older, and you're in. That's another thing with our community. Why are we doing this? Does anybody want to be dead alone? It was a story about this old lady because I played it on the show, and it was because the community had shunned her because she ended up marrying her son, but she didn't know that because she gave him away at birth because she had him really young and was kind of hiding it from her parents. Nobody knew about it. She had the baby away in another city, and somehow they ended up getting married, and then they found out that and then the whole community shunned her. She ended up dying alone in her home, old woman, starving to death. She literally starved to death, and nobody knew.
Yeah.
Like that's a fucking sad ass way to go. And it's like our community, older people, not even just older people, you don't even have to be that old, but like being in a home by yourself, you slip and you fall or something, you know, you don't even have to be old. You end up in a position where you need some help.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can't live your life like that. I mean, you have to be mindful that there's harm that could come your way. You know what I'm saying? But bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. When I walk out my door, I don't have that mind state that I'm not coming back. I don't have that mind state, like I go, I say, what I'm saying, I pray, I believe in prayer, I pray for God to protect my, what I'm saying, my friends, my family, my wife, my children, just myself. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know, we all know that there's a chance that something could happen, but you don't walk out your house thinking that you're gonna go get in a wreck and never return home.
I always
You
say
know
I'll
what
be
I'm saying?
back. That's what I say. I don't say bye when I leave. I say I'll be back. I'll be back. That's what I always say. I'm leaving.
And it's just,
Me too.
yeah, bro. Like I say, man, I'm not gonna like literally the day that shit happened. I was in the stores. We were in the stores looking for baseball cleats for my son that Saturday and that Sunday, and I had to go grab some groceries that Sunday for meal prepping for the road. Like a shooter coming in the HEB never crossed my fucking mind, bro. I just was in that bitch getting my shit. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Getting the little knickknacks my son kept fucking nagging me for. And went on. He looked at a couple of big old booties walking around there and got the fuck out. Like I didn't even think about it. It never crossed my mind because I'm not gonna live like that, bro. Like, I
Uh,
drive down this highway every day. I can literally put my signal light on to get over in the left lane because a cop or a car or somebody's pulled over on the shoulder of the road and the motherfucker behind me, when I get back over, could come up and roll beside me and blast off in my truck. This shit
and
happens to truck drivers on a daily basis. Like, but I
so
never once think about it. I don't even think about
we
that
can't
shit.
we can't live our life in fear because then therefore we're not living. And
Yeah,
life is for the living. So and
yeah,
love
bro.
trumps hate. So that's what it
Yeah,
is.
I
News networks are not even getting clicks like that. So this shows like there's an opportunity for this, what we're doing here on this show.
So I really enjoyed seeing you be confident in your perspective. And I think that you have a lot to say, especially when I saw a lot about social issues and politics. And I will be honest, like I'm not as well versed as I probably should be. But I really appreciated being able to learn from your content. I think a lot of people, and also have a different perspective. So I think a lot of people, it's kind of like an echo chamber. They like what
Right.
they like hearing, what they like hearing. And so I'm very much a person who I love seeing both sides. I love getting different perspectives. I love getting different opinions. So I really enjoy being able to learn things from you.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do?
We want you to be an activist. And don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley.